Good morning, everyone. It was intentional that you got to see us before the splash went up. We just had to share this amazing morning. Good morning, Jade. How are you today?
I am awesome. I don't have the sunrise that you've got. You can't see mine. Mine's just over here. And I've got some God fingers happening, but it's not as spectacular as what you've got going on.
I am deliberately sitting in the shadows here. I thought that, you know, I might as well share this wonderful sunrise with everyone and let everyone enjoy it. So, ta-da, there it is.
Ta-da! Thank you for sharing. Yeah, mine's I got a little bit more cloud than you this morning.
Yeah, we had a really cloudy day yesterday. I think it's going to clear up today. So, fingers crossed we get a nice sunny day and everyone gets to enjoy some of it.
Yeah, hope so. We're due for rain all day here, but it's not pouring on me, so I'm happy.
That's good. We dodged the rain in and out yesterday, so we were lucky enough that the sun came out long enough to dry the skate bowl, so we could come down a couple of times and play. It was sort of like It rained, it was wet, it dried out, we played, it rained, it was wet, so it was good. The kids had a ball. They've done really well yesterday playing down there.
Oh, beautiful. I haven't made it to the skate bowl yet. The place that I want to go to, that LGA is in lockdown. So there's a new track that's got like all the wobble things and everything.
Oh, nice.
And I swear every single time I'm like, yes, let's go this weekend.
No.
Yeah, so I can't wait. I'm very excited about it.
It was interesting watching the kids play down there and push their boundaries a little bit, but sort of getting feedback from what the skateboard was doing with them. So, with Kobe, I was talking to him about dropping in or rolling in. So he's rolling in the slope and feeling what the skateboard's telling him, so that he can generate a bit more speed and power as he goes around the turns. And it took him a couple of goes, but then, he sort of went, "I got it, Dad. I could feel what the skateboard's telling me. It's giving me some feedback and letting me know what it actually wants from me." And I thought that might be a really good conversation to have today around feedback loops and how we constantly actually need it.
What a perfect topic of conversation. It's definitely something that's mentioned in The Art of Extraordinary, but something that I've been kind of banging on a bit for a while when it comes to our team performance and some of the feedback I get when I ask for feedback from team members is that they don't get enough feedback. And the reason why team members crave feedback is it allows them to have the opportunity to stop the voice inside their head, the story that they're telling themselves, to stop running, but most importantly to be able to correct course. But like you said there, Kobe was getting feedback from the board, and I think that takes present moment awareness. So if we take, even if you're in this group and you're not a team leader in your office or even in your orbit, like, because feedback with children and partners and that is equally as important. If we just drop it right back to present moment awareness is so crucial to increasing our performance, right? So Kobe's saying the board's giving me feedback. It's telling me where I was going. Maybe just by being present moment, slight difference on lean of like the toes going over the front of the board, or the having to hit heel. Or if we think about it, we're surfing when we've got that present moment awareness and we are in the now. We get that feedback when you go to take that drop and you go over the handlebars. If you're not focused, you don't know why. But if you are focused, then you might go, "Oh yeah, I looked down, I went down," or I was heavy on the front foot," or that you can drop into asking yourself for the immediate feedback of what just happened. But if your mind is elsewhere, you don't know. You can't pinpoint
Yeah,
where that is.
I think that's a really interesting point, that, isn't it? That, just paying attention to what you're doing. And so, with the surfing, Clayton tells us just go and have fun. All the other stuff is happening, in the skateball, on land, on the Bosu, all the skill stuff is happening elsewhere. Just go out there and be present in that moment and just have fun. And I think that's really a really interesting concept when you think about the application of a skill in a sort of high performance environment where you've actually done all the learning somewhere else. Now you've just got to be present enough to apply it all.
Oh, how gold! This is I'm reading in I actually have my book open right here. Camera, where are you? The struggle.
The struggle.
The struggle. But it actually talks about, like, you do the struggle, like the feedback on the Bosu, the practice on the land, you do all of that, and then the next section in that is release, so that you can release it, so that you drop into the, almost like if you think about muscle memory, or into the automatic response, because you've done all of the feedback, you've done all of the struggle, all of the hard work, impression, so they can release. And we know we can't have flow without fun, right?
Yep.
Into the moment, into the present, without the overthinking, without the constant. Or for me, like, as like used to say, it was painful. You could see, thinking, my old football coach was like, hear the cogs turning in your head. It's like, stop thinking. It's like you get to the try line and like your brain just goes clunk, clunk, clunk. It's like, just stop thinking in life.
Yeah. And so to bring that back to what you were saying, saying about with our teams and the feedback loop with our teams, if we can guide on the small things, it means that the big things will take care of themselves.
Yeah. And the constant feedback and opening your teams up, like another part in that group flow section right now. But being able to have your teams give constant feedback to each other, like what's working, what's not working, and how do we change the dial, which is why our group does every Monday morning and Friday mornings, is setting the intentions, and then on Fridays feeding back to ourselves what worked and what didn't work. Like, what do we need to change, so that while you're in the moment, you can be in the moment getting it done. How would you apply this feedback loop principle to those that have, say, mini humans, Kyle?
Oh, gosh. Now that's a whole other topic, isn't it?
Feedback and criticism, right?
Well, and that's probably a key thing, is that it's kids and particularly teenagers can very, very quickly be offended by what's said without the intention of that happening. And so sometimes it's about just letting things go. Sometimes it's about, a part of the feedback loop is also leading by example and doing the things that you want to see happen. So, there's no point yelling at the kids for leaving their plates lying around when you don't put your own plate in the kitchens, and all those sorts of things. But I find it's sort of trying to preempt where a situation's going and getting a small correction in early. So what I mean by that is, if we pay attention to our kids, we can see a pattern of what's going on, and you can see, if siblings are going to fight, they don't just go from happy and playing to bang, we're fighting with each other. And so instead of letting it get to the point where they're absolutely fighting with each other, asking them a question, hey, do we need to change to something else? Do we, are you guys feeling like you're in each other's face? Or, just asking a question that makes them stop and pay attention to where they're at now, and hopefully consider where they might take them shortly.
Yeah. And I think the few things that model what it looks like, because you can't do as I say, not as I do. Looking for the patterns, but making it around feedback system. And I think feedback is kind of pointing out where the course can be corrected, how and why, and the learning behind it. So rather than just put your dishes in the sink, I've told you a million times, put your dishes in the sink, or not the sink, dishwasher, not the fucking sink. In the dishwasher. Explaining.
Did we hit a nerve there?
But explaining why it's important, or how it makes you feel, or like, is it like asking, what's the challenge? Well, I didn't know the dishwasher was unpacked. Okay, cool. So just so you guys know, every morning I'll jump up and unpack the dishwasher, ready for everyone for the day, so it's done and ready. So you never have to check. It's all good to go. Okay, cool. So just giving that around and saying, the reason why I do that is it means that when we come in to make lunch, it's so much quicker and easier.
Yeah.
So giving an explanation rather than just do the thing, because they haven't put the dots together. Don't expect them to put the dots together and to take the extra steps. And this goes with teams as well, right? If you're going to give feedback, don't just say it's wrong or you didn't hit your number or whatever.
It's crap.
Really go through. It's crap. It's just shit. Try better. You need to be able to look at, okay, cool. So when we're feeding back, maybe it's around asking questions. So helping them, because don't expect everyone will be able to do like feedback even on themselves right away. Like you need to ask, and we're good at it because we do it every week, or even with our journaling every day. But like, what worked and what didn't work, like, and what led up to that? How did I get here? Now we've talked about it a few weeks ago around food, like making note of what we felt like afterwards, because our body's giving us feedback of whether that fuel works for us.
Yeah, and we notice that in either how we feel, like, and it's the little things, and we've spoken about this before. It's the little things. It's that feeling a little down in the afternoon, or just feeling heavy or bloated, or the crash, the 3 o'clock crash, and all of those sorts of things. If your diet's on point, none of those things will happen. So it's noticing, hang on, I got the 3 o'clock crashed. All right, what did I have for lunch? What did I have for breakfast? Why am I having this energy slump? 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like most people have.
Okay, Facebook, just so you guys, stream won't bring your name in for me until you connect. Put up the thing on screen so you guys connect. But can you tell me who this is? Write your name into the chat. So Kyle, it says it takes a multiple 20 to 30 times for children to learn a new language. The context of a situation from the initial model. I'm gonna guess. Is that Tash? Tash?
Wow.
Steve says it's
pretty cool.
It's chilly in Lennox, and he's swum across the lake. Yeah. So,
it's so true, isn't it? That you feel like you've got to say things 1,000 times, but it's that joining the dots in the brain as to what needs to happen next, so to speak.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you have to say it 1,000 times, your job as the speaker is to make sure it's received and to meet them where they're at and speak so they can hear you. Charlotte will be so proud. So something's not computing. So you kind of need to try and find another way, like, to explain it so that they can hear you. This children, husbands, wives, team members. Like if the dots aren't getting connected, maybe you haven't explained the importance or how it makes you feel when that happens, or what the knock-on effect is, or the process, or ask them what the challenge is. Like for ours, it was like dishwasher example. The challenge was, well, if it's not open, I don't know it's empty.
Yep.
I didn't have to resist saying, walk the door and look inside. But instead, baby steps will build the habit. I'll know what I'll do. I'll open the handle and pull out the top door a slight bit, so at first glance, you can make that decision. Like, think about the ultimate outcome that you want. What's going to get the result, and what's the baby steps to get amongst it. But then most importantly, like what gets rewarded, that gets repeated, right? So don't just go, oh, cool, that thing's done now. Like I've had me win. We got YouTube showers, and it was Tash. Thanks, Tash. YouTube showing names for us, just not Facebook. So we need to make sure that we're feeding back even the little things that show momentum to our partners, to our children, to ourselves, like giving ourselves that recognition. Like, oh yeah, that really made me feel better today. It made me I felt like more clear. Giving yourself the pat on the back, so you, because the words that your brain hear is really, really important, and the most important words it hear is the words it hears from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we spoke about this last week, where it takes 7 or 9 or something, lots of positive to overcome the negative. So you say one negative thing, and then you've got to repeat yourself 8 or 9 times before the positive message gets through and is stuck in your brain. So it's super important to actually notice the good things as much as you notice the things that weren't necessarily perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, the car next to me. So this is like, I think a really important thing is when, like, often people, when they say, can I get some feedback? It's kind of programs the other person goes looking for the negative things to fix.
Yeah.
And feedback isn't about always fixing it. It's about like what went well so you can like duplicate it. So how do you repeat the success? How do you remove the struggles, and how do you really turn up the dial on like the things that need to start going faster? So I think if we can program ourselves with feedback, whenever you're asked for feedback, I don't know why the shit sandwich comes up, but don't give the shit sandwich. If you guys don't know what the shit sandwich is, it's a term in feedback, specifically was given in team context, in terms of give something positive, give the shit thing, trying to end on a positive. Most people see through the shit sandwich and they know that you're just making shit up. But genuinely look at what did work or what you would like to start doing. Join the dots, as don't just look for the things that went wrong to fix. And that's equally important for on yourself.
Yeah. It's probably more important on yourself, because what you're telling yourself is what you're going to radiate to everyone else. So that's why we're doing the 6 weeks to self-leadership. Let's get ourselves right so that we can lead everyone in our orbit and get that right. And so the really important thing is that we do speak positively to ourselves. It's easy to get into the, oh fuck, you're an idiot, and that kind of languaging in your own head. I just got swooped by an Indian miner, little bugger.
Oh wow.
He didn't like what I was saying. No. I got some feedback for him.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to get into the loop and just not necessarily attacking yourself, but the words are still being used. So that's what you're hearing. That's what the brain's hearing. So I guess for today, today's task is go ahead and speak positively about the things that you're doing well, and maybe almost ignore the stuff that didn't quite work today.
Yeah. And if you recognize there's stuff that didn't work, rather than beating yourself up, just say, okay, what could I do better?
Yeah.
What's one little thing I could do better? What would lead? And think about the tiniest step. So if you're cranky, maybe it was sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or sugar.
Yeah. Or sugar. Hopefully hopefully we're all sugar free. I just want to give a massive high five to Bear, who's lost 5 kilos so far on the 6 weeks, because his commitment was to drop sugar. So he's killing it. So that's a huge.
He's killing it. He's seeing the results.
Yeah, his story is he's stoked. Beautiful.
So that's it for today, guys. I reckon, everyone. Be positive with yourselves.
be positive, give yourself the pat on the back, and give yourself the positive feedback that you deserve.
Yeah, and have an awesome day.
Awesome. We'll see you tomorrow morning, guys.